It's January 6th, 2020. We're back up here in beautiful Aqua Dulce in this windy day. Happy New Year, Paul.
Happy New Year, Barry. We're going to start now with the bubble top. We're going to place the windshield section and we'll obviously close the doors down, and we're going to go about creating the top, getting all that to function, open, close, so it'll be on there in its completed state for our mock-up bubble top. It won't be its final stage of completion because we have to build basically a test piece first, and we'll start on that today, and that'll create the three sections that we're going to have, our windshields and our two doors. Make sure they function and the geometry doesn't crash into each other because we don't want that.
This is the mock-up that Paul's working on for the bubble top before we do the final, where we'll have to blow another bubble and cut it. Right now we have to use these construction bubbles that we have. This is the English wheel Paul's using to...
It's the Aussie wheel right now.
It's the Aussie wheel that Paul is using to put some shape into this new piece he's just built. So Paul's putting the clecos in here, which these are temporary things that hold metal pieces together in the car.
Now that we've got the door to open up, we have to trim it back to the hinge pivot point, because inboard of the hinge pivot point, you can see the material drops inward and down. We don't want that to happen, because when we come to the front, going down, it will collide onto what will be the windshield, which will be under here. So by moving it back in line with the pivot point, the door will actually, glass will pull away, and the geometry of it then will allow it to open. Otherwise this would collide right on here and you wouldn't be able to open the door. So that way this will function the way it's intended. Which underneath all this material will be removed up to about there.
Hi, it's January 22nd, 2020. We've been using old bubbles, construction bubbles, to mock up the batwing doors. Today we're going to cut the one good clear bubble that we have and get it to fit. Then we will blow a brand new clear bubble based on what we're going to do today, fitting this in. We'll blow a brand new one down at Crystal Craft in Laverne, California. They blew this bubble back in 2008.
I'll open you up right now, this edge. Pretty sharp. Yikes, be careful. A little bit longer on the front there, you can see it's a little bit short right there. But overall it's a good fit. Bubble looks good. Good height. It's down inside the trough.
It's January 24th and we're making another quick trip out to Paul Clark's shop in Aqua Dulce, California.
Since our little last update, we've cut more of the bubble away. We've reshaped some of this metal work, restyled it a little tighter to the bubble around here. Now we have no gap here. Now we've got the rear hatch. So we've engineered some hinges for it, so now we know we've got an opening hatch the way we need to, which down in below here, you can see this piece here will hold the actuator. It'll go deeper and that'll push, so to open and close it. This fender here, this never had this edge here. I finally put the return on here to match the other side, of course. We've banged out all the shape to the front panel. We've matched left side fender shapes and curves to the right side, fender shapes and curves. And so all this is almost all knocked out. I've still got a few more low spots here we've got to bring up to make all this metal finish smooth. But it's pretty much about 90% now of the way it needs to be. We're going on to the door skins now, which we will shape to this fill-in. I've got some pieces of tape to give me a rough line to work with, and I'll get out some aluminum and make some door skins to follow this same crease lines from the fender to the rear quarter panel and get the same curvature, so it all blends all the way back down in here. And then that'll finish the doors left and right. This edge here will carry on around the front of the bubble to give that final dress piece like we've got on the side of the bubble above the doors. We'll do that all the way around the front. Attach the bubble and then we'll cut it. This being our mock-up bubble, we'll divide the windshield into door sections. Right, so right now I'm shaping this door edge right here. I needed to add a little more material to try and get the right gap to the door. So I take some filler rod, blend all this edge in, and now what I'm doing is smoothing this off to create a nice consistent gap and try and follow this all the way around the door jamb. So here's our door skin. That's part of it anyway, then we'll make the top half to complete it. So that's good, it came out pretty good. And now we'll just finish the top section and join them together, and that'll be one door skin. We're looking at the door. I'm working on this upper area up here. All this edge down here was removed. I removed all that. It's a new edge that's all been put on up around there. That's so it will fit onto the back edge of the bubble. This contour right here, when it goes on back up over here, it'll match this edge along here and then flow up and onto the bubble. And now with the bubble sitting on there, we have to fab the remainder of the door skin. The door skin ends right now down around here. So I have to do this part that comes up through here. But this edge down in along here of the bubble, it now sits on the metal surface down here. It can be attached. So this is the shape to fit the bubble all the way around. So that's where we're at on this side of the door. I like the way that it sits now. It seems to sit a whole lot flatter, whereas before it was just a little too full. It's good. So what we got here is we just annealed the aluminum. This is the top section of door skin for the Space Coupe project. Put it on the bead roller, and I'll put a return edge around so I can fold it over onto the door frame. Finished, you know, you've got it. You can see this edge you were asking a little bit ago. This edge is done. The glass will just, nothing else goes here. The glass will be in there, and that's finished.
Well, it's July 3rd, 2020. We're on our way up to Paul Clark's shop.
So I'll have to mount some studs up underneath where the bubble is going to go. Those will be left in place, so they will be poking through some of the small flanges I have coming up on the underside, and that will be fully adjustable. We'll be able to block it up so I can set the height, and then it'll be mounted at the front here, as long as it's clear of the pedals.
Copy. That's something you're going to do today.
Yes.
Still got to figure out the opening of the door.
All right. What?
Well, see this right now would simulate.
Right. You've got the shape up, but why are they so far apart?
Because if they're not, they hit. These were formed off a bubble. The bubble that we had, we put in here, and it made these shapes while they laid on the bubble.
Yeah.
See, the problem that we're all having is originates from the hinge point right here and right here. Because like I showed you before, when this point rotates around this point,
It moves toward the other door.
Correct.
Right, yeah.
So this curve that you can see, this cutout
Yeah.
right here, that's the path of this.
Yes.
So if this bar was right next to
It's
it,
going to crash right into it.
that's correct. So it shows you where this has got to go. So you cannot have
Okay.
a cut outside of this point about here where my finger is, because that's about where the door stops.
You know, this is the only car in the world that has these kind of doors. Space Coupe is about to arrive here at Wonderworks from Paul Clark's shop. Hello, Wonderworks.
Hey, how's it going, Barry?
Here we're going to continue to work on the interior and some other aspects, or detail work on the car.